Paranormal. We're going to do a tour, a ghost hunt of the Farnsworth house. Yes, sir. 3 Souls Paranormal out here on this tour. This is the walking tour of the Farnsworth house. We got the OK to record.
Got everybody together, okay?
We're going to go start in front of the house and I'll give my introduction and everything over there, okay?
Okay, Frank. Oh. Yes, we are. We're allowed to video. Downtown Gettysburg.
We're out in there. All right, guys. Good evening. My name is Kayla. I will be your guide this evening. Come on over to this side, guys, so you're like not, so people can get by us. My name is Kayla. I'll be your guide this evening. If at any time on the tour you have any questions, be it a historical question, be it a paranormal question, please do not hesitate to ask. I have my bachelor's in education as well as history, and I'm doing classes from my master's in history. So if you have a question, ask. Okay? I don't know everything though, so if you stump me, I will give you my work email address, phone card at the end of the tour. You shoot me the question and I will research it and find you an answer. I'm not going to stand up here and give you an answer that I don't know to be true. Okay? If you want to take photos on the tour, take all the photos you'd like. However, if your equipment dies, I apologize. That happens all the time. People will go in the house and take a few pictures with their phone and it will start flashing that it's dead. We'll come out of the house and it's really weird, but I've seen it happen numerous times. But what I would suggest doing is if you're trying to capture something paranormal in a photo, say you're taking a picture of that sign, the Farnsworth house sign, you want to do at least 3 in a row without moving your camera. Okay, just at least 3. You can take 4 or 5, but do not move your camera. Things may show up in 1 and not in 2 or vice versa. You never know what's going to show up, okay? Now, what I will do, all the equipment that I'll pass out to us is up in the attic already. So we'll go up there in just a few minutes. I'm going to give you a brief history of the house, and that way you kind of know what we're getting into, okay? So this is the Farnsworth house. The original portion of the house is not actually the brick portion, it's actually the wood portion that sits behind the house. It was built in 1810, and then in 1833, the original owner, John McFarland, added the brick structure on. It cost him $750. Yeah. That's like nothing now, but back then it was a lot. The house was here at the time of the battle. Now, at the time of the battle, it did look a little different than it does today. The portion of the house that's wood was actually a porch, much like Mr. G's. So they had a porch that ran the length of the house behind the brick structure, okay? Now, at the time of the battle, the house was used by Confederate sharpshooters. The homeowner at the time was Harvey Sweeney. And you can tell that the house was used, all of those little white specks that are on the side of the house, and if you guys want to see, you can come over here and play me your fire. All of the little white specks on the side of the house are bullet holes. There are over 100 bullet holes in the side of the house. That's because the Confederate sharpshooters were up in that little attic window where we're about to go next, okay? So you had Confederate sharpshooters there, you had them on the porch of the house, and then the homeowner, when the soldiers started coming into town, the homeowner was standing on his porch and they started to yell at him that the Union, either get to your cellar or get out of Gettysburg, the Confederates are right behind us. So what does he do? Jumps on horseback and rides up to High Street and starts yelling, the Confederates are coming, the Confederates are coming. That's because his wife and daughter were living up there. They were separated at the time. That was always unheard of back then, but he was not a very nice man. And we'll talk about him a little more in the house. But then he came back and he and his tenants, the Whitehards, went down into the cellar, and that's where they remained for the entire battle, which was a whopping 3 days long. Then you had the main dining room, which is the bottom two windows. The main dining room was used as a makeshift hospital. That's simply because you had most of the fighting going on up at Cemetery Hill, which is just up above the hotel with the huge pillars. So you had all the fighting going on up there, and the closest established hospital was all the way up at the other top of the hill on High Street. So imagine you're shot or your buddy's shot and you're trying to get all the way up there. It didn't happen. A lot of times they just poured into houses, took them over, and moved them into hospitals. Now the cellar, besides being used as a safe haven for the homeowner, they do take soldiers who had passed away and took them down and put them in the back portion of the cellar. And I'll talk about that when we get in the cellar. Other than that, that is pretty much what the house was used for at the time of the battle. They do believe the only civilian killed here in the three-day battle, Jenny Wade, they believe that she was shot from a bullet that came from our attic. Now, a lot of people, they point at different houses. They point at this house, the Shriver house, which is up the street a little, and they point at the house that used to be over where the bell tower is now. It was called the Mercury House. It looked exactly like Mr. D's. But there's a diorama of the houses up there, and you can plainly see if it was going to come from anywhere, this would have probably been the most likely building. And I would say that even if I weren't working. But you guys can make that choice for yourself. The house was 610 feet from our house. So it was one heck of a shot, but it was possible back then. Does anyone have any questions before we head into the house, into the attic? None? All right, it is a running bed and breakfast, so all of the rooms are occupied in the house. Just don't knock on doors and scare the life out of people, because I'll have to hear about it in the morning. But there are 6 rooms in the house, 4 in the original portion, 2 in the newer section, which isn't really new, but newer. 4 garden rooms and 2 rooms over in the gray building. So there's a total of 12 rooms. So, and just because rooms are out in the garden does not mean they're not haunted. I can tell you from experience, they are. So let's go over, and if no one has any questions, we'll head into the house. Done? All right. Get ready and go in. Now I will tell you when we go in, just make sure the door doesn't slam back when you hold it for the person behind you, because it's that hard. And when we go up and go through the hallway, there's a little step down and then a step up, so kind of watch yourself. Here we go.
We are doing the tour of the Farnsworth house right now before we get to the investigation in the attic and the basement. Three Souls Paranormal doing this down here in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. If you heard a horse, he's right down here on the main street. Only got a horse and carriage. What's that? That's the 1800s version of Uber.
That's old time Uber.
We're heading into the Farnsworth house. Watch your head.
I'll let you guys come in. There are chairs behind there too. So once you get in, I'll shut the door and then, oh, there's someone coming. No, you're fine.
I hit my head too.
Yeah, yeah, you'll bop yourself. Okay, and there's chairs back there and there's still room on the bench. So let me just make sure this is shut.
I need to sit next to you.
All right.
You've
So
made me
that
feel
is the
comfortable.
diorama that I was telling you about. Down here is our house, and the little red one up there is the Jenny Wade house. So you can see it was just a straight diagonal shot. So it would have been very simple for them to hit her from that, you know. I mean, obviously it was far, but they used rifles that had the rifling, the spiraling in the barrel, which made the bullets go further faster. And they also used the conical or cone-shaped bullets that were able to travel faster and more accurately. So it was possible. All right. So this is the original attic. I don't want that up. Why that was even on. These are the original rafters, original floorboards. That window over there is the window that the sharpshooter shot out of. And the reason that there is a plexiglass door there is because a few years ago we had a little guy go over and almost push the window out. So we didn't want, one, somebody below getting hurt, or two, some kid falling out the window. So we put the plexiglass up there. So if you're going to take pictures, I recommend like taking them up over there because you'll get a glare. All of the artifacts in the cases are from Gettysburg and are from that time period, minus the statuettes, and horsehair plaster on the walls, the little slats over there. That's horsehair plaster. They used to use horsehair mixed with the plaster to keep it like a binding agent. So that's kind of the gist of the attic. Now, about 11 years ago, they came up here with a luminol spray that lights up black light, blood in the black light. And they sprayed the whole attic. Well, over there by the window, it lit like a Christmas tree. And then there was a trail that went from that window all the way back to that corner. And that corner lit up like a Christmas tree. So my thoughts were, I thought military thinking. You had an access point with a window, a door, and an access point with a window. That was the least accessible area, so they moved them back there. So many of them probably perished in that corner. Now on the tour, I'll tell you about some of the spirits that we may encounter, and if you do I have any skeptics? No? None. That is odd. I usually have at least one in the group. That's all right. That's all right. That's good though. I will tell you, I started here about 17 years ago, and I was kind of a skeptic because I'd never had anything happen to me before. I started out as a hostess while I was waiting for my teaching degree to get switched to Pennsylvania, which is like jumping through a hoop this big. And I thought, oh, I'll work at one of the local bed and breakfasts. Well, when I started here, I did not know it was haunted. So I would seat people, I would help clean off the tables, and at the end of the night, since it's a bed and breakfast, I would set the tables for the next morning. So one night I'm in the main dining room. It's about 9:30 at night. No one's in there with me. Two waitresses are in back rolling silverware. I'm at the table right in the middle of the room. I turn to grab a plate off of that one to put it on the table in front of the fireplace. And when I turn back, a little boy runs through the dining room. Now I thought, oh crap, somebody's kid got loose from them in the bed and breakfast. So I go running back to the waitresses and I said, hey, did you guys see that little boy? They're like, what little boy? I said, the little boy that just ran through the dining room. He came right back to you. It's somebody's kid. You didn't see him? They're like, Kayla, there's no little boy. I said, yes, there is. He was about this tall. He had blondish brown hair. I say it's like an Amish boy haircut because it's kind of long. And he had a cream color shirt kind of like this on. I said, he just ran right through. They're like, there was no little, you probably just saw Jeremy. I was like, oh, who's that, the owner's grandson? And they were like, no, it's a ghost that haunts the house. I said, huh? They said, a ghost that haunts the house. I said, you guys are messing with me. They're like, Kayla, this house is very haunted. You didn't know that? I said, no. It's been on A&E. It's been on the Science Discovery Channel. And I'm like, I must not watch those shows. I don't know. What are you talking about? It's the second most haunted inn in Pennsylvania, next to the Cashtown Inn. I was like, okay. So I had to research it. I went home, looked it up, found out there was a little boy that died in the house. It was late 1800s. He lived up the street, and he was out front playing a game called horse tag. The kids would run up and tag the horse as it was passing. It was like their game of chicken back then. So Jeremy runs up to tag the horse, and the horse and carriage trample him. Kids start screaming. His dad runs out of the house, grabs Jeremy, brings him back into what is now the Sarah Black bathroom, which is right below us. Sarah Black bathroom was a nursery back then. They laid him out in there, called in the doctor, and when they got here, there was nothing that they could do for him. So he laid here for 3 days before he finally died. Jeremy's in the house. I saw him. That was the only thing in 17 years that I've seen with my own 2 eyes. But I've had plenty of things happen to me in this house. And most of the experiences happened up here. And this is probably the one room in the house that makes me very uncomfortable. So if you ask me if I'd sleep up here, absolutely not. I'd stay up here with someone else, but I would not sleep. I'd probably be like this all night. Well, what's around me? But the cellar is set up creepy, and I'd rather take a nap down there. I just don't like this room sometimes. It's very unnerving. Like sometimes you come up the steps and I'm like, ooh, I shouldn't be going in there. There's something going on in there. There's nothing going on in here. I just have that innate feeling. So Jeremy is in the house. He loves playing with electronics. So when I give us stuff, he loves to play with it. So if his dad's not here, now if his dad's around, forget it. His dad William does haunt the house. He comes and goes. He doesn't like any electronics. He doesn't let Jeremy mess with many electronics if he's around. He will walk back and forth, so people staying in the house may hear footsteps at like 2, 3 in the morning. Look out. There's no one there, but they'll smell cigar smoke. In the Eisenhower room and the McFarland room, there are a couple chairs in there, and people have literally seen a man sitting there like this, and when they, acknowledge him, he disappears. So he's in the house. It's just when he decides to come and go. Now he sometimes will interact with me, but not much at all. So what I want to do, I want to pass out some equipment. We'll start with the most basic equipment first, and then we'll start getting into the more tech stuff. Okay, so the first thing is a set of dowsing rods. Does anyone not know what dowsing rods are? Okay, everybody does. Okay. So I use these to get yes and no answers and to point at various things and people, and I'll tell you that here in a second. But if you have these, you don't want to stop them with your thumb. You want to hold them about shoulder width apart, one up a little higher than the other. You don't want them down. You don't want them up. You want them parallel, okay? And you ask questions, and they will go on their own. Now, when I do it, I tell them if they're going to give me no as an answer, cross the rods. Because I'm a teacher, X means no, it's easy for me to remember. So they could be like this or all the way back. Open rods to me are yes, and if they don't know or don't want to answer, I tell them just to keep them neutral. Now, a lot of times when they give me an answer, I will reset them so that they don't have to pull them back, because it takes energy for them to interact with us at all. So if I can help them, I'm going to help them, okay? There is another spirit here in the house that he plays a game with me called the name game, okay? His name's Walter. He was a soldier here in the house. He was killed in the house, but not up here. He was a sharpshooter. He was on that side porch I was telling you about and was shot in the neck. Now, Walter, he's like a redhead, a fiery attitude, just kind of grumpy sometimes soldier. And I'm not going to give you ages or anything like that or where he's from. We can ask him and see if he'll answer us, so we'll try that, okay? But he plays a game called the name game. And what he'll do, usually I shut out all the lights and I use the light up dowsing rods. What he'll do, if someone in the audience gives me the name of someone who's here, 90% of the time, I'd say 99.8% of the time, he points to the right person. I don't know any of your names. I don't remember even what was on the list, honestly. But he will literally point to whoever's here. And I've had these over in Alumni Park where that little bell tower is, with a family reunion of about 30 people. And this guy was giving me names, and he's pointing to everybody. And they're like, how are you doing that? I'm like, I don't know. I'm not psychic. If I were, I'd live somewhere hot and I'd hit the lotto. I'm not psychic. So I go to put him away, and the guy comes up and he says, could you point to one more person? And I was like, let me ask. It said yes. So I said, what's the name? He said Olivia. So the rods went back and forth like 30 times until finally they stopped on a girl on my left. And I said, is your name Olivia? And she said, nope, my name's not Olivia. I was like, that's weird. He's been dead on all night. She's like, my name's not Olivia, but my unborn baby's going to be named Olivia. It freaked me out because it was October, it was chilly, and she was wearing a big sweatshirt. I didn't even know she was pregnant. So I got goosebumps talking about it. It freaked me out. I put them away. I was done with them for the night. I was like, nope, I'm done. No more. So, would anybody like a set of dowsing rods? And then the equipment I give you, I'll get it back at the end of the tour. So, does anyone want a set? You want a set? You're welcome. Anybody else? Anybody? Okay. All right. If you guys change your mind later, decide you want them, just let me know. I'll give them to you. I have them.
What are you doing back there?
All right. The next basic thing. Is this the right one? Nope. This one. Okay. The next basic thing are K2s. So what these do, and no, I do not drink Crown Royal. I've never drank it.
It's delicious.
I've never even tried Crown Royal, but my boss gives me them and they work perfect for this stuff. So everybody was like, man, she's a drunk. She's like 80,000 Crown Royal. No, I've never even tried it. But these are K2s. And what they do now, if you shake them or you hit them or you have them next to your cell phone, they're going to light up like a Christmas tree, okay? But what these do is they read electrical output. So all of us have electrical output running through our bodies, okay? When something that's not us, we don't usually light up with it, but if there's something around you that's trying to put out any type of activity, any type of energy, it will detect it and it will light up. This doesn't, I don't know if, let me see if I got something running. See how, it lit up a little bit. I'll pull that up because I want to pull that up to let you hear anyway. So usually if you put an app on, why is this not, okay there. See, it'll light, no, that's not even, it's lighting up a little bit, but usually if you have your phone running, it'll light up. So would anybody like a K2? All you have to do is hold it. You don't have to push anything. You don't have to, hold on here. Let me get them all out.
Yeah. Yes, I can.
That's
All
my
the
one
things.
that the kid
Say there was a limit on the
broke
things.
the latch. If we need it, we can
There's a
use it,
limit
but I
on
don't
things.
usually use it. And my new one came today and I wasn't home to get it, so. There you go. You want one? Here's one for you. Here's one for you. Here's one for you guys. There you go. All right. So those are K2s. This is my little teddy bear that I set out for Jeremy because he likes, I don't know that he necessarily likes this one. He likes the, there it is. He likes this Beanie Baby. If I can find it. There it is. I feel like Nanny McVie. I pull out like 50 million things out of these bags. He likes this one, and sometimes he will actually push it. And the reason I like it is because you literally do have to push it to get it to move. So this one, he just sits there because I think he's cute. So I just put it out there. All right, the other thing I have, and I don't use too many of these because they're sometimes they get annoying when you're trying to see.
My question. So this
Sure.
light's been on the whole
It
time?
stays on.
Okay.
Yep. And then some of them will, some of them won't. And then if something comes over, it'll light up. It'll start flickering into the next screen, or it'll light all the way up. This is a spectrometer. Okay, what it does, it's a light grid. It shows stick figures. So, not stick figures, shadow figures. I'm thinking of my camera. So anyway, if my finger were a person, see how it blocks out the light? And then if someone walks through it, it just blocks out the light. So, let me make sure I got them on the right settings. Would anyone, there we go. Would anyone like one of these? There you go. Anybody else want one? There you go. If anybody else wants one, let me know. Usually two's good. I'm gonna get some bigger ones. These ones don't light up real bright, but they do work. So, the next thing. That's a group.
Is that taser?
Here's my car, and I'm gonna put the car with the back wheels on this bolt, because sometimes it will get moved, and if it moves, I'll know where I started it from. But sometimes Jeremy likes to move the car, and what's sad is I don't have it on film yet, and no matter how hard I try, I always forget to put a camera over it, and then I never bring my camera, so that could be one reason. Alright, those are just regular flashlights. If they decide they want to interact with us, sometimes they'll use those to get energy, sometimes they'll light them up. I haven't had them light up in here. I've had them light up in the dining room and out in the camp, but not in here too much. So these are temperature gauges. I'm just making sure they're on the right setting. What they do, man, both the same. Okay, what they do is they just tell your ambient temperature. Whatever you're pointing at, you point, aim it, squeeze it like a squirt gun, see the little laser light. Whatever you're aiming at, that's what it'll show the temperature of it, saying 68.5. So would anybody like one of these? Because when you're having a paranormal experience, some people get very cold, some people get hot. I have a tendency to get very warm. When Walter's around, he's usually behind me. I don't know why, but he's usually behind me. And my ear will literally get bright red, like I'll get really warm. And this side of my face will be fine, but that side, I'm burning up. And it's really weird. Never had it happen until he started messing with me and being right behind me, but it happens all the time. So I tell people, if you're using this and there's a drastic drop, like 4 to 5 degrees quickly, or a raise 4 to 5 degrees quickly, then there's something going on. So does anyone want one of these? No? All right. Do you want one? All right. Does anyone like to use pendulums? You want one? Because I don't use the pendulum simply because I shake too bad and it looks very wonky. So I don't use one, but you're more than welcome to use one. There's one for you. You're very welcome. Anybody else want one? You want one? Get this one. I have to get it out of there. Here you go. This one I usually put. Find the spot. You will not bother this dress, believe me. And a lot of people, when they're doing the paranormal tours, don't even dress up. But I think I get better reading and better results being dressed. I don't know. I just think I usually put this one right here, and we'll see if it moves. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And this place is made of horsehair and cable hair. I always get stuck in the rafters, so I swear. Okay, now I'll leave that here. All right, the other things, these are kind of like group things. This is a ghost box. What it does, it plays AM and FM frequencies forward and backward. And it plays white noise, that shh, and it scans forward and backward, AM and FM, and sometimes you will get voices on it that will actually answer questions. And that's where I wanted to show you this. That's why I pulled it up. So we're up here, and I don't do EVPs. If you guys want to, you're more than welcome to do the recordings and EVPs. I don't do them simply because I don't have enough time to listen to all of them. I work 3 jobs. I cannot have time to listen to all of them. So, this lady was doing an EVP one night, and she caught Jeremy on there. And I will let you hear him. Why is this an ad, really? Stop. Okay. Here we go, I think. Here it is. Okay. I'm gonna turn it up so you can. Okay. All right. You get the first part you don't hear, but you'll hear him the second time. So listen.
Okay, Jeremy, can you tell us what happened to you? What hurt you?
Now you'll
Say
hear
it
it.
again, buddy.
So,
Thank you, Jeremy.
that was so clear. It totally just blew my mind. I've never had any EVP, and I begged the woman, please send it to me, and she didn't send it, and then she finally sent it in my email. I was like, oh, because I don't have anything like that, so it was really cool. It was exciting. But that's what you'll get. You can ask questions. You kind of have to play with it to get it on the right frequency, because sometimes if you're going too fast, they won't answer. Sometimes if you're going too slow, it'll pick up radio interference. So you just got to find the right thing, and hopefully we find it. So the other thing, these things I have to sit out. So let me get out some of this equipment here. These are literally just cat toys. Okay, and
The best piece of equipment ever.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I love these. I love these because they literally have to have some sort of energy put to them to
Yep.
make them light up, or they're not going to just light up. So I love these.
Yeah.
They are the best things. Love them. Then these are Rem Pods. What they do. Well, this one plays music. Let me get it to turn on. So I don't like this one. There we go. I'm going to put this one right here. Okay, that's one. And then I'm just going to set all this other stuff out. I'll put one ball
Yeah, he got his music box.
there. Okay. Then this thing, I'm going to put this REM pod. I'll turn it on when I come back through, because if I do it now, all that's going to happen is my dress is going to hit it, and hold on a second here. I got to get this. Oh, are you serious? I just changed the battery in you. Okay, well, I'll change the battery in him again. That's a static detector. This REM pod kind of sounds like this and will light up. There I go with my dress catching on everything.
That's a cute little thing.
It's like a mini, it's a mini detector. And there's that. And then this, I'm going to put this thing plays music, okay? When someone goes around it, I'm going to put it back over near the door so that none of us make it go off.
Where'd you get that at? 'Cause that's awesome.
I got it up at the Gettysburg Ghost Exchange.
Where's that at?
Right up, like, you know where Mark Nesbitt's
Okay.
Ghost of Gettysburg is?
Yeah.
It's like a block up.
Nice, I'll be there tomorrow.
Right around it's literally right around the back of it, around the corner.
Okay, awesome.
It's really cool. This was like, I think 189, I think. These were like 65. They weren't bad. So, but that thing will go off like crazy. Jeremy loves playing with that. Since I got it, he just, look, he's, come on, shut off.
That is cool.
No, I don't want you to light up. Stop. Okay, well, whatever. Alright, it'll shut off here in a minute. Alright, this, I'm going to put it right here. And then this one just lights up like that. Oh, really? Okay.
Turn it off.
Stop lighting up for me for 1 second. Look, everything's gonna start going haywire. The figures, they're like, are you gonna start letting us play with this stuff? They love messing with my electronics. They're funny. And I will tell you, before every tour, I change my batteries in all my equipment. So for that to be dead, I don't understand. I'm like, it makes me mad because it's a pain in the butt to change the batteries. Okay, so not all of the spirits here in the house are men. There are women. There's one woman in particular. Her name is Mary. She is an older lady. Uh-oh, who's over there? Jeremy, is that you? But I will tell you, Mary, she's more of a caretaker. She likes to take care of people. If they're in the house and they're not feeling well, like if you're staying here and you have a headache or something, I'm telling you, that's Jeremy. He loves that thing. Oh, you're all right.
Jeremy spoken.
Jeremy, huh?
Jeremy spoken.
I'm telling you, I bet you he's over there. So, Mary likes to take care of people. So if you're in the house and you're just not feeling quite well, you might feel a hand rub like your hair out of your face. You might feel someone tuck you in to bed. You might actually feel someone sit on the edge of your bed. That's probably Mary. Now, I have only had one experience with Mary in all the years I've been here. Mary leaves the scent of roses around. I will tell you, because I do housekeeping, we do not have any plug-ins in the house. There's not enough plugs. And besides that, I am very weird about that. Like, I don't want stuff making people think that, you know, I don't want it to be wonky. Like if they smell something or they experience something, I want it to be legitimate, you know? So when I find something, I'm like, get rid of that. That's not good. So we do not spray any floral. The only thing you're going to smell is Downy. I use Downy Febreze, so. Okay, this should be working now. All right, so, and I will show you a picture of Mary, because Mary did appear up here one night on one of my floors. And you can see her for absolutely 100%, you can see her. So, and then my last favorite thing I will show you, and then we will shut out lights and get started. That's not me. I'm not close enough to it. Let me get this to start up.
Spirits touch all these devices, have them go off.
Oh, they love touching this stuff. And he loves doing that because that thing drives me nuts. So he'll mess with it just to make me crazy. He's a little kid, and I'm telling you, he's a typical little boy.
Just ask him, what is that thing? I never seen it.
That is a static detector, and what it does, if you put off any type of, you know, when you're walking around the static, that's what it'll do. And he loves lighting that thing up because he knows it drives me batshit crazy. It does. I'm in the middle of talking and it'll go, Ring! I'm like, see? It drives me completely nuts. So,
Crazy.
See what he's doing? And I know he's doing it. And he's probably sitting there going, ha 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 ha. I can just hear him. And this is my other favorite toy. Okay, so this is an SLS camera. Does anyone not know what an SLS camera is? Okay, everybody knows what an SLS is? No? Okay. An SLS, if I can get it to turn on. If you guys killed this, because I left it up here. Okay, whew. Okay, so an SLS, do any of you watch the Ghost Hunter shows or any of those? Okay. I mean, it's a dumb question, but, you know, some people are like, no. It shows stick figures. Okay, so what it'll show, this is one that was taken in the cellar. Okay, it's something like this, okay, but the one in the middle is an actual live human being, okay? And the way you can tell is, see how he's staying solid? He's a solid stick figure. And those other ones are kind of like crazy. Those are spirits. They weren't there. And the guy was standing there, he was going, can you give me 5? Can you touch my hand? And I said, do you feel any different or anything? My husband was holding the camera. And I'm like, do you feel anything different? He said, My neck kind of feels cold. And right when he was saying that, the thing was by his neck. It was crazy. But they are crazy like that in this because they're drawing energy in from all different places. Okay, so they can't run it through their body as perfectly as we can. So that's what you're looking for. Now it will show like calibrating. That means something is trying to show up, but hasn't yet. So let me start off. I'm going to get this set up real quick. I just got to press 2 buttons. No, not that button. Come on. I love technology, but at the same time, I hate it. Come on. I just got to let it connect. There we go. Okay, so this is kind of what you're looking at. It'll show up like this, and then see how it says calibrating? There's something literally back there trying to show up, and I can almost guarantee it's probably Walter, because I'm starting to feel like warm. So what we'll do, we'll shut off the lights and try this here in a second. And then let me get I'm going to start by getting my dowsing rod and see if there's anyone here. Obviously there is. And I bet I know who it is. Let's see. Is there anyone here who wishes to communicate with us? If you are here and wish to communicate with us, cross the rods in front of me, please. Could you please cross the rods in front of me? Jeremy, could you stop playing that blue thing? Please? Thank you. Okay, someone's here. Boy, you're driving me nuts. Okay. Jeremy, are you here? If you're here, open rods are yes, cross rods are no. You know the deal. Are you here with us? Guys, there's plenty of items in here that you can use the batteries from, okay? So use the batteries and move the rods for me, okay? You've got flashlights, you've got my phone, you've got Rem Pods everywhere, okay? Walter, are you up here? Yes, yours is lighting up. Walter, if you're up here, show me where you're standing. Can you show me? You guys are moving these awfully slow. Okay, I'm gonna shut out the lights, and we're going to see if you guys want to show up on my K2s or any of the K2s that people are holding, or my SLS camera. Okay, so if you guys could let us see you, use the energy and show yourselves. Okay, I'm gonna go shut the lights out. I know I sound crazy, but that thing's driving me nuts.
You hit it?
You hit your, that hurts. I knocked my head off this. I hit, oh, it's crazy. Okay. And I promise, let me make sure yeah, I'll turn on the right ones. Okay. Now there won't be any electrical interference from anything. And we'll see if we get anybody to show up. All right. Jeremy, are you up here, buddy? Jeremy, I'm going to take this off of the, let me take this off of the platform, because if I see anything, I can't hold it up to you guys if it's on that. All right. Just going to take this off. It's easier. All right, here we go. Nope, nope, I don't want to do that. All right, Jeremy, are you up here, buddy? Oh, there's a couple over there. Jeremy, are you over there? Jeremy, if you're over there, could you show yourself to us, please? It's showing somebody right by that thing. See the pink that's jumping around up there? Who's up here with us? Could you please use some energy from from some of the equipment and show yourself to us, please? Walter, if you're up here, go over that way and then they'll see you, okay? Jeremy, if you could quit playing with that blue thing, I would really appreciate if you stop with the blue light. The music don't bother me, but the blue light, you know, drives me crazy. Why do you keep messing with that thing? And there's something right by it. You can see it bouncing around right by it. Who's over there? Walter, are you back there? I think Walter's back here. It feels like there's somebody behind me. Walter, are you back there? If you're back there, could you please show yourself to us? You're right behind me because I can feel you. Like it almost feels like, you know when you rub a balloon on your hair and it pulls your hair? That's how on my neck is feeling. Walter, are you back there, buddy? If you're back there, could you please show yourself so I don't sound completely insane? Please? Okay. We're going to get the ghost box out and ask some questions, okay?
The ghost box.
Somebody's back there. Oh gosh.
The ghost box.
Come on.
Let's get it.
Okay, I will put this back on the platform. Does anyone want to maneuver the Sls camera? I'm going to tell you, it is very heavy. And if you get tired of holding it, you can always give it back or give it to someone else. I do not have a problem with it. Just, I will, let me put this on tight so it doesn't fall off. I've already had to replace a tablet. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so does anyone want to hold the SLS and try to see if they see anything? Anybody? No? Okay. All right. Then what I'll do, I will try to hold this up for a few, well, I tell you what. There's something right there. Oh my gosh, it figures I put it. Oh, there's two. Holy crap. There. Oh shoot, I moved it. Now it paused. Oh my gosh, and they messed with my screen. They literally locked up my screen. You saw it.
I did.
Oh, I'm gonna restart it.
It was like the animated.
Yeah, they were moving and they locked my screen up. Like, are you serious, guys? Okay, well, we're gonna let it restart because they're ridiculous and messed with me. All right, let me get out the dowsing rods and we will see with the rods if we can get any answers out of Jeremy. Because I know he's the one messing with this, so let me see. Are you serious, Jeremy? Oh, I was gonna say, if you shut that light after I just replaced it. Jeremy? If you're up here, where are you standing, buddy? Walter, are you up here with us? I thought you were. Where are you, Walter? Yep, okay. All right, Walter. Walter, if I ask you some questions, Jeremy, you're going to have to cool it with that for a minute because I'm talking to Walter, okay? We will talk to you in just a moment, I promise. I'll ask you some questions too. Okay, I'll ask you first. Jeremy, do you want to use the blue rods? No. Okay. Hold the screen. He likes green. Jeremy, do you want to use the green ones? Yep, I thought so.
No.
All right, Jeremy. If someone asks you your age, can you cross the rods in front of me if they say your age? Yes? Okay. I will get us a base number to start with. Jeremy, were you under 10 years old? Yes, he was under 10. Okay. I'm going to have them call out a number, and I want you to cross the rods when we get to your age, okay? All right. Here we go. Somebody call out an age.
7.
Were you 7, Jeremy? Mm-mm. Cross the rods when we say your age, okay?
8.
5.
6.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you, Jeremy. Thank you very much, buddy. Yeah, thank you. Are there any other children up here with us tonight? No? Okay. All right. Jeremy, I tell you what, can you come over and light up the Rem Pod that's on this bench? The one that plays music? It's by your bear. Can you come over here and touch it? I'd love for you to come over and light that up, or one of the balls. Light one of the balls up. There's balls all over here for you. There's like 3 of them laying around here. No? You don't want to do any of it, do you? All right, well, fine. Okay. Walter, if you're up here, cross the rods in front of me. Okay, Walter. Walter, if we wanted to play the name game, would you play with us? Okay, what I want you to do, and I know you know the rules, but I do it anyway. When someone, Jeremy, please stop with the thank you. Thank you, buddy. I really appreciate it. Really? Oh, okay. Walter, what you'll do is when anybody calls out a name of someone who's here with us, I want you to point the rods to them and cross it in front of them. You understand? Okay. All right. Are you ready? Okay, I'm going to put it back to start. Okay? All right, Walter. He'll call out a name, and I want you to point to that person, okay? All right, go ahead. Somebody call out a name of someone who's here.
Kristen.
Point to Kristen. Is he pointing to the right person?
No.
He's not pointing to Kristen? Oh. I don't know. He's pointing right at... I can't even see anybody. Now I see you. You have a scarf on.
Yeah.
Is that who? That's who he's pointing at. Are you Kristen?
Yes.
Okay, he's pointing right at you. All right. Okay, shut the blue light off, Jeremy. Please. Please. I'm begging you. All right. Anybody else want to try it? I don't know. They're not pointing to nobody.
Jasmine.
Jasmine?
Jasmine.
Jaslyn. Point to Jaslyn. Okay, I can't see who he's pointing at, so you have to tell me if he's pointing at the right person. Where's
Yeah.
Jaslyn?
Right here.
Wait, where? Raise your hand.
On the back.
Oh yeah, he's pointing right at you. Okay. Yeah, when that blue light goes off, I can't see anybody past her. It's like I can see him a little bit, but that's it. Does anybody else want to try it? Walter? I don't know. You want to play another round? Oh, yours is lighting up. Your K2.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It's going all the way to orange. Okay. Walter. If we get to your age, will you cross the rods in front of me? Yes? Okay, and then we're going to get the ghost box out and see if you guys will answer, but I'll shut that thing off so we can hear. All right. Walter, were you over 30? Were you over 30? Yes. Okay. Walter, were you over 40? No. Okay. So you were between, oh, that's me. So you were between 30 and 40 years old. Okay. I'll wait for somebody to give me an age and we'll see if he'll cross the rods.
36.
Were you 36, Walter?
38.
37.
34.
33.
Well, there's not very many numbers like that.
32.
Were you 32?
39.
31.
Well, how old were you? Come on, we've said every number. Well, no, we haven't said every number.
30.
Wait, who said, what did you say?
35.
Were you 35? Okay, Walter, thank you. My gosh. I was like, do we have to just start counting? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Come on. Alright. We're going to get out the ghost box. And I want you guys to try to talk to me, okay? Please try to talk to me. Colors off. Okay. Put this here. That thing's getting shut off because we will not be able to hear the ghost box if that's going ring. Okay, I know I'm disrupting you and making you mad. You'll have to live with it. I'm sorry. You're going to get shut off for a minute. If I can find the button. Okay. I'm going to take this and sit it on the... I'll sit it by the bear. Maybe we can provoke him to move the bear. We'll sit it right here. That's me touching that thing. Okay. That's not me. Now you're gonna light that up and make noise, huh? Just because I took all the other noisy stuff away. Typical little kid. My goodness. Alright, here we go, Jeremy. I'm gonna turn the ghost box on and we'll see if we can get you to answer some questions. And then we're going to probably switch. Okay. That was my dowsing rod. Why it fell, I don't know. That was both of them that fell off. That's weird. I'm gonna set them up here. There. All right. Now let me turn this up. All right. Alright. Are there any soldiers up here who wish to speak with us? Any soldiers up here who want to say hi to us? You can say hello. We may be able to hear you. If you come over and say it very slowly and carefully and loudly right in the box, they'll be able to hear you. I said something. Could you say that again for me? Who's up here? Can you give me your name? Say that again, please. Tell me your name. That was a little kid. Did you hear it? Can you say your name again for me? I couldn't make it out, buddy. You gotta come closer and speak very clearly and loud. Michael, are you up here? Michael, is that you trying to speak with us? Patrick, are you up here? These are both soldiers. Oh, that lit up like crazy. Patrick, is that you lighting up her K2? His just lit up too. That was music. Patrick, was that you lighting up their K2? Yep. Yours is lighting up too. Can you, I'm going to slow it down a little bit more. Let me see. Could you tell me your name so I know who we're speaking with? Does it sound like Jack? I've never heard that name before. Up here. What was that name again? Jeremy, are you up here? Was that your voice that I heard a little bit ago? If that was you, can you light up somebody's K2? Can you light up? No, he just lit up yours. Walter, if you're up here, could you light up somebody's K2 for me? Can you light up her K2? Because I see the green dot. Can you come light her K2 up? Did you say I'm trying? It sounded like trying. Walter, go over and try to touch her K2. That one just lit up again. Come on, buddy. Did you do it for me? That didn't sound good. Are there any children up here besides Jeremy? What was that? That something said something. I just can't understand what he said. I'm trying to get a portal. All the portals that I have tried to get are out of stock. I could get a mini. What it does, it hooks up to this and cuts out that white noise, and then you only hear the words coming through. So it makes it a little easier to understand. So I may get one of those. I may just, I guess, break down and buy the mini, even though I wanted the big one. But Walter, can you tell us what state you are from? Tell us the state. Were you from the north or the south? I'm going to try something else. Walter, were you from the north or the south? Patrick or Michael, if you're up here, were you from the north or the south? Do any of you want to talk to me? Yes, I just heard a yes. Okay, I don't know who you are though. Can you tell me your name? That almost sounds like a girl's voice though. I'm not hearing you guys. I tell you what, I'll play your music. I'll play one of your favorite songs, and then maybe you guys will start showing up. You can show up on my SLS. I'm gonna put their song that they like. Let me find it. I need my granddaughter here. She knows where YouTube is quicker than I do. It's crazy. And she's only 2. Okay. Alright guys, I'm playing your song. Could you come out for me? I'm going to turn on the SLS, and we'll see if you guys will show yourselves for me. I'm going to take it off of this. Come on. did this before and I've gotten 4 different figures on this. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Can you light up one of my Rem Pods so I know you're here with me? Anything? Light up somebody's K2. Light up this K2 because I can see it.
Back down to the basement. This is the Farnsworth house. Creepy ass dog. Headlamp. Dude, tell me that picture I got is not Jenny Wade. Look at that. She's right there on the wall. There's Jenny Wade right there on the wall. I'm guessing we were going all the way down the steps. There's the grandfather clock. Welcome to the Farnsworth house. Yo.
Yeah.
And there you go. There's a little step down and then there's one more just a little ways out. And then we'll go down into the cellar.
So then this used to be called Sleepy Hollow?
It used to be called Sleepy Hollow Lodge. Yeah. It was Sleepy Hollow Lodge.
How much does it cost to do a private investigation?
You'd have to talk to Nikki. She might be able to set something up.
Okay.
Gettysburg. Gotta love it here. We're heading to the cellar at the Farnsworth house.
There's three steps and then a platform and then one more step.
There's the beer garden down here. The Farnsworth house. Gettysburg. Very peaceful town. There's the Farnsworth house itself. We're heading to the basement. We got it right here. He's coming up out of the sewer.
Pennywise?
Pennywise, yeah, he's down there. Pennywise is.
Red balloon to the...
Right. You know, it's crazy, you know, there's not a lot of Halloween decorations down here in Gettysburg, even though it's a weekend, 1 week before Halloween. Gettysburg. Dude, it's still so nice out. It is so ridiculous. I need some more of them Sam Adams Oktoberfest. Because they were absolutely delicious. They need to hook me up. Yeah, Sam Adams, we're giving you a shout out. We should give free beer for life. What's up? Sam Adams, won't you sponsor us? I'll put your logo on my shirt. You all right, Frank?
Can't wait to get to the bridge.
Right, we're heading. We are heading to the Suicide Bridge here after this is over.
Oh, did you?
I've been down here in the Farnsworth House basement before.
Yeah, this is this is one of the creepier rooms. It's set up to be.
I'm sitting in the back. I need to sit in the back. I need to be back here by myself.
They have it set up like a funeral parlor.
Need the door shut?
Yes, please. They have it set up like a funeral parlor. So this is the cellar. It does not look like it would have back at the time of the Civil War. At the time of the Civil War, it was dirt, like dirt floors, dirt walls. It was very, very rudimentary looking, and I'm just gonna tell you, it looks a lot better than it would have back then. Now the part, see, I keep feeling like I walked through a spider web, but I didn't. I don't know. That's weird. But back there, behind that curtain, is the original portion of the house, portion of the cellar. That is the catacomb area, and they did bring soldiers who had passed away and put them back in there. There was one that was living at the time. He went back with his friend, and he was comforting him, and the guy was nearly decapitated, and he was humming, holding him. I have heard humming come from that room 3 times in all the years I've worked here. It was a man's voice, and I was not alone. Everybody on my tour heard it too. You could literally hear a man humming. Can't make out what he was humming, but you could hear it. It was very eerie. So, I don't want you to turn on it. Oh, someone must have put a penny on that. Yep, I heard it. There it is. By the way, if you came with coins and you leave without them, I'm sorry. Jeremy's a pickpocket, and he will steal coins out of people's pockets. He does. And usually I find them all over the house, all over. And when I do, I have a cup right now with about this many pennies in it. I have to come and dump them in there. And then at the end of the year, we're going to donate it to St. Jude's. We do it every year. So, and they spelled Farnsworth wrong. So I gotta fix that. I keep saying I gotta fix it. It's Farnsworth on there. It's the Farnsworth house. So let me put out a couple of these crazy light up balls, and we'll see. I am going to put the car. I want to put it somewhere where I'm not gonna keep it. Yeah, they're still cleaning up. From dinner time.
We got footsteps upstairs.
Huh?
I'm just talking. I'm checking her
Oh
out.
yeah, there's somebody up there. But now I've been down here before on paranormal nights when it's like a 4 or 5 hour tour. It's like 12:31 in the morning. When we leave the dining room from doing that tour, I lock it behind me, come out the fail-safe door, meet everybody out front. Everything's locked. The door at the top of the steps is locked. Everything's locked. Yet I will hear that door trying to be opened. I will hear footsteps of someone coming down the stairs. One night I had about 7 people, and they were sitting, they all came down and sat right here. I was like, okay, I don't know why no one wants to sit over there, but I'll pay attention to you guys. And we're down here, and all of a sudden I hear footsteps upstairs. So I'm like, that's weird, because when I left, the cooks left. So I said, just give me a second. I don't usually text or anything, but I'm going to text Libby. She's the owner's granddaughter that's the manager. I said, let me text her and see if she's upstairs. So I text her. She's like, no, I'm not upstairs in the dining room. Nobody should be in there. You locked it, didn't you? I said, yeah. Nobody's in there. I said, yes, there is. There's somebody walking around up there. She's like, Kayla, there's nobody in the house. I was like, okay. Where are you? She said, I'm over in the office, which is in the gray building. I'm like, okay. So I'm just sitting there for a minute, and all of a sudden we hear footsteps, and hear the door, and hear footsteps. So I was like, who's that? So I walked back and looked up, could hear something coming toward me, but there was nobody there. my butt got back up front real quick. I was like, I'm not staying back there. Came up front, and I start talking, and all of a sudden you hear bang. I mean, it sounded like someone picked a table up and threw it. So everybody went crazy. The guy in the one pew about jumped over onto the woman in front of me, and he was like, ah! It was like crazy. I was like, oh my gosh. So I get everybody outside. I shut all the lights out, and I calm that fellow especially down. And then I said, here's my email me, and I'll tell you what it was when I find out. So I go to walk to the back, which, you know, I'm going to take my stuff to my car, and here comes Libby. And I said, hey, what are you doing? She's like, what did you hear? I said, there were footsteps upstairs. I heard them, and then there was a loud bang. She's like, oh no, do you think one of the pictures fell off the wall? I'm like, I don't know. It could have been, because I'm thinking we have this gigantic picture of mead above the fireplace. I'm like, oh my God, I can just see it. So I said, I'll go with you and we'll check. So we come in the fail-safe door, go to the back section of the dining room, nothing. It's fine. Go to the front section, right by the door, in the middle, there's a chair flipped over like somebody threw it. She's like, is that normal? I was like, no. She's like, you haven't heard that before? I was like, no. She said, did it sound like this? I said, yes. She's like, you couldn't have not pushed the chair. I said, Libby, I pushed everything. Everything was fine when we left. She's like, okay. I was supposed to stay that night. I went home. I was not staying. I was a big chicken, and there was no way I was staying in that house after that noise. No way. So, that's just some of the things that I've had happen down here in the cellar. But again, I don't get freaked out down here too often. It takes a lot to get me scared in the cellar. The footsteps, I will admit, it has scared me a little bit. And one time I was down here at like, probably 3 o'clock in the morning with an author. We came down and we set his trail cam up. So we're sitting here, and he's like, do you mind if we sit here for a few minutes before I go back to bed? I was like, that's fine. So we sat here. I sat right there. We hear whistling. I'm like, did you hear that? And he's like, uh-huh. It sounded like it was coming from up here. Then it sounded like it was coming from the back. Then it sounded like it was coming from up here. I opened the door. There was nothing outside. That was strange. So this house and this, you know, the whole place is crazy active. So you never know what you're going to have happen to you. But this is set up like a funeral parlor, because people back at the time of the Civil War and thereafter didn't have funeral homes. They actually used their homes as, you know, viewing area. They would use their parlors or their cellars, and they would lay out their loved one in a viewing casket like this. This is an actual viewing casket from the Civil War era. So they would lay them out in the viewing casket, and then when they were done being seen, they would transfer them over into the burial casket, which I call them toe pinchers. They look like the Dracula caskets that are like octagonal with the pointed toes, like real narrow. So they'd be transferred into that, and they would tie a bell on your toe or your finger so that if you were buried alive, you could ring the bell. They were burying people alive because they didn't know. They didn't have the medical technology that we do now, so they might have very, very, very shallow breathing, and they may not know. They may be in a coma, and they just think they're dead. So that's what they would do. And the funeral director, there were funeral directors. They would come in, and they would decorate the house with large arrangements of flowers, not for the prettiness, for the smell, because embalming was rather new. If you could afford it, you got it done. If not, you just were laid in the casket. They didn't embalm everybody. And then they would decorate the house so that people outside knew that you had a body inside. If it were an adult, they would put wreaths with black ribbon on them. If it were a child who was dead inside, they would put white ribbons on them. And the same would be for your carriage. It would carry you to be buried. It would either be decorated black or white, depending on whether you were an adult or a child. So that's kind of why this is like this. And, you know, pretty much it looked like this. They used to have chairs, now they have pews, which makes it a little nicer. Because I don't have to go through and straighten chairs up every night, so that makes it nice. But when I started doing tours, because it was about a month after that experience with Jeremy happened, that the owner found out I had a history degree. So he said, you're gonna do the historical tours of the house. So I did all history, no paranormal, because I only knew the one story. Well, as I was doing them and had so many different things happen to me, I decided I wanted to do all the tours because I wanted to find out if there was some legitimacy to this. So that's what I did. And when I first started about 16 years ago doing the paranormal tours, we were always told not to go back behind the curtain. Now, there's a door back there now and it's locked, but back when I first started, it was just a curtain. That, like I said, leads to the original portion of the house, and the reason we weren't allowed back there is because all the electrical to the main house runs back there and the boiler's back there and they don't want us messing with anything. Well, people do not listen. Oh, pardon me. They don't listen. They let a reenactor go back. He got about halfway back, felt something tug his sleeve, and when he turned to come out, something grabbed his pant leg. And he got out here and had a muddy handprint on his leg. So they were told again, don't go back there. Don't let anybody back there. They don't listen. They let a lady go back there. And I'm going to tell you, I've been back there twice. Once with the owner's son, because I said, I want to see it, because if people ask me about it, I don't want to be like, oh no, and sound stupid. So he let me see it. And it's dirt. It's all dirt wall, dirt floor. I'd be more afraid of running into a snake or spider than a ghost, honestly. But they let a lady go back there. She didn't even make it a fourth of the way back, and she felt something tug on her dress, so she started to come out. She got pulled to the ground, and when she finally got up and got out here, she had several sets of muddy handprints on her. So they turned around, finally got smart and put a door on it and locked it, and then they called in Lorraine Warren. Does anyone not know who Lorraine Warren is? Everybody does. Lorraine Warren was a paranormal investigator, a clairvoyant. She was one of the first paranormal investigators. Her husband, Ed, is the only demonologist. He was the only one recognized by the Roman Catholic Church. And the movie Annabelle and the Conjuring, that's about her. So they called her, and she came in. She did, I'm going to move this, or it's going to hit that thing. I'm sorry. Better I hit it anyway. She came in and she blessed the catacomb area. That's her mark of her blessing. And then she did a light cleansing of the house, and she told them all the way back then to either cover that big mirror over there, that big one, either cover it or get rid of it. Cover it for at least 3 years or get rid of it. It's still here, and it's not covered. Well, about 4 months after they had her in, the daughter of the owner owns the mirror. She moved away. They brought a different mirror in. It looked almost identical. And honestly, I didn't even know that it was a different mirror until fast forward to 3 years ago. They bring it back, and they're bringing this mirror. And I was like, what are they doing? Oh, they're bringing the original mirror in. I was like, what original mirror? That thing's going off.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. So they put it back in here. We start having problems with women. We start having bad things happening to women. Women will have their hair pulled. Women will feel like a choking feeling on their neck, a hand over their mouth. They will have their dresses pulled, being pinched. It's crazy. So they have all this stuff going on. I bring a girl in here one night. She's shadowing me to learn how to do tours. She's sitting in the second row. Midway through, she gets up, moves back to right where you're sitting. And at the end, she comes up and she's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to disrupt your tours. You didn't. I said, why'd you move? And she said, something was pinching me. So when she moved, I said, did it quit? She said, no. She put up her sleeve, little red marks all over her arm. That girl had been pinched, poked, felt the choking feeling, had her hair pulled, had her dress pulled so hard that it ripped. She doesn't work for us anymore. I don't know why. I mean, come on. Isn't work supposed to be torture? But she doesn't. And when that started happening, I didn't feel comfortable bringing people in here because my thoughts were, if someone has something bad happen to them, how am I going to explain that? I didn't feel comfortable, so I told my boss. I said, listen, I do not feel comfortable bringing people in here. I just don't. And we emailed and called tons of people, and finally, Amy and Adam from Kindred Spirits got a hold of us, their producer. And he asked kind of what was going on, and we told him, and he said, well, we'll come out and check it out and see what it is. So, have any of you seen the episode of Kindred Spirits that the house was on? I think it was like season 3, episode 3 or 4, I don't remember. But they came out, they did tons of experiments and stuff, and investigation things on the mirror. And I will tell you, I'll just give you a long story short in case you ever want to watch it, because I think that it's on demand or YouTube. I'm not 100% certain. I watched it the first time and never watched it again. But it's a good episode, granted. What we found out is that the mirror's frame dates back to late 1800s, but the mirror itself is from like the 1950s or 60s. It was owned by the Collins family, and that's who we got it off of from an estate sale. They had a son named Clarence. This is Clarence. He is 21 in this photo. This is his execution photo when he was arrested. This was the last photo taken of him, okay? So he and when he was younger, he used to do illegal things. He'd prostitute women across state lines and did all kinds of illegal stuff. Then when he got a little older, so you can imagine if he was 21 in that photo, he wasn't much older, you know. He decided that he and a buddy, this is his buddy, they were going to rob a tour guide out on the battlefield because the guy carried large sums of money with him. So they hire him out, get him on a remote back road, and Clarence shoots him. They try to hide it and everything, but it's all traced back to them, and they're found. They are tried, found guilty, and are sentenced to death. While on death row, in jail, if I can get this to flip, why is it not flipping? It shouldn't be locked. It's not flipping. It's not flipping. There we go. Okay. While in jail, Clarence did beautiful artwork. This is one of his photos that he did in jail. He did this with brick dust and burnt matches. So that tells you how spectacular of an artist he was. What they feel is that a piece of his art used to be housed in that mirror. And when he committed that crime, his family was so ashamed of him that they took it out and got rid of it. So, they told us to get rid of the mirror. It's still weird. They did get rid of it for about a month. It was gone. They were bringing it back in one day when I came to work, and I said, what is that thing doing back? And they're like, it's okay. We've had it cleansed. We've had it blessed. And we put a gargoyle in front of it. All is good with the world. But they did have it cleansed and blessed, and knock on wood, we have not had anything bad happen since they did that. However, a man about 4 weeks after we brought it back was sitting in the 3rd row, and he was wearing all Ohio State, all red. I remember because my son loves Ohio State. And I was putting my equipment away, and he said, do you mind if I take some photos? I was like, sure, go ahead. And that's what he got in the mirror. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. Did you guys see it? Yeah, it is. It's not normal. Yeah, it's definitely not normal. So I have not had anything bad happen to me personally, but I won't get into pictures with the mirror simply because about 3 weeks before they came into the investigation, I was standing right by the angel saying goodbye to everybody. This guy was in the second row standing taking pictures of his wife. She was standing in front of the mirror. The gargoyle wasn't there. She was standing there like this, and you could tell she was getting frustrated with him because he was taking too long. She was like, would you just hurry up and take the picture? And she had no expression on her face. He was taking like 3 or 4 of them. And I'm still saying goodbye to everybody, and he says, hey, you gotta come see this. So I walked back. He's like, look. So you go through the first and second photo, fine. Get to the third, there is a smile across her face. It looks like somebody took a black Sharpie and wrote a smile across her face. I had goosebumps. It freaked me out. I was like, oh my gosh. So that I was like, I'm done. I will not get in pictures with the mirror. I don't like the mirror. I don't know why they don't cover it, because back when you had a body in the house, they believed that you should cover the mirrors because the spirit of the dead could become trapped in the mirror, or you would turn the mirror around backwards, okay? If you didn't, they'd say that their spirit would become trapped, or if you as a mourner looked into the mirror and were seen crying, you would be the next to die. So why they won't turn them around or cover them out? They just keep putting mirrors up. I'm like, you guys are crazy. This stuff is nuts. But I tell you, there are many times down here in the cellar that I can tell you, I have feelings about things since I've been doing this for so long. I can almost tell when there's something going on. It's strange. I don't even know how to explain it. But one lady actually caught it on tape. I knew, I was standing here and I knew there was something over by the door. I just knew it. Like, I could feel it. And she took the picture when I said that. And right when I was looking over there, there's a big mist in the corner of the room. I just knew. I don't know why. There's different times I come down here and I can just feel that there's something weird not right about this place. Right now I'm not feeling too weird and nothing is lighting up. Like nothing, not even your Rem Pod. It's weird. Like anybody's K2's lighting up? Anything? Yours is lighting up a little bit? Oh, your phone. But yeah, it's crazy. I just, it's weird that I know, like, I don't know how I know, but I can just tell.
Oh wow, that's neat.
It's weird, but if anybody gets any pictures that they want to share with me, again, I will give you guys my email. Please, please, please send them, and I will acknowledge it if you want me to. A lot of people are like, I don't want you to do that. I was like, okay, whatever. I don't mind doing it though. But I
My K2
always,
meter sitting right here.
I always
And
try
Rem Pods sitting
to
right there.
kind of feel it out and see if I feel it.
So hopefully these devices go off and scare the shit out of
Like
people.
nothing. The ball lit up once. One time. And the car hasn't moved yet either, so. That's strange. But, one thing I do, like to stress though, is just always keep all your senses open when you're trying to have paranormal experiences, because you can experience stuff paranormally with like all your senses. You might smell things, you might feel things, you might hear things. You never know what's gonna happen. It's really strange how things happen like that. Does anyone have any questions yet? No? Well, one thing I always like to tell everybody is kids and dogs, animals, they can sense things even better than we can. I just know it. When I had a lady in here with her service animal, it was like a little beagle or something. I'll never forget the dog's name. It was Daisy, because I heard it like 8 billion times. Daisy, quit, Daisy, quit, Daisy, quit. This dog was growling at the door. I mean, just gnarly. Her teeth were, it was crazy. And she's going, Daisy, quit, Daisy, quit. And then finally, she was like, can I just take her out of here? I said, sure, that's fine. She goes to get up, and the dog wouldn't move. She's dragging, like trying to drag the dog out the door. Well, she finally picks the dog up and goes out. I was like, okay, that's a first for the animals. And then children. I had my granddaughter in here one night. She was with her mother, and she's been coming on tour since she was like 2 weeks old. My daughter brought her in a little papoose thing, and it was funny, but she's 2 years old. She's sitting right here with her mother. And I have my whole family here. They've never been to the house, so I was showing them, you know, my niece's nephew from West Virginia, and I'm showing them everything. My nephew's sitting there with the Sls camera. And I have the rods, and I'm going, Jeremy, if you're down here, buddy, where are you standing? Everything's lighting up, right? It's weird. I'm like, where are you standing, buddy? My granddaughter gets up, comes up to me, pulls on my dress, says, Mama. I said, what, honey? She said, Jeremy wrote by door. I said, what? She's like, him by door. I was like, so my nephew shined the SLS over there. Sure enough, there was a stick figure. So then I start talking about other things, and she comes up, she says, Mama. I said, what? She said, Mama, Jeremy wants in his car. I said, wait a minute. How did she even know I have a car in my kit? My daughter's like, she doesn't. I was like, wait a minute. Okay. So I give her the car, and she sits it on the floor and goes, here, Jeremy, you play the car. I was like, that's strange. I mean, it freaked me out. I was ready to leave. But I didn't. Instead, I was dumb and said, Walter, where are you standing? She goes, Mama, Walter, everybody. I said, let's go. We're out of here. My daughter's like, great, now my baby sees ghosts. I was like, a lot of kids do. I don't know why. It's like they have that shield is down. Like they're aware of things, so, or unaware of things. So what I like to do, if you have dowsing rods, this is what I do with the dowsing rods or anything, any of our equipment. If you could cross the rods in front of everyone holding a set of them, cross the rods so that we know that you are shutting off communication with us. You will stay here and we will go on our own way. Cross, yep, good. Cross the rods. Come on. Cross them. Cross them. Cross them. Okay. All right. Cross her rods. Who else has? Does anyone else have them? No? Okay. Cross them. Cross them, Jeremy. Thank you. Okay, thank you guys. What I always like to close with, regardless of what tour I'm doing, it doesn't matter what tour I do. I do this for every single tour. I talk about this fella. His name was Major General Joshua Lawrence Chamberlain. He fought with the 20th Maine up at Little Round Top, and I always talk about him because he was not a career soldier. He was actually a teacher and was kind of thrust into that position, but he was very successful. And he had envisioned that his soldiers would be successful at Little Round Top, and they were. The Union won Little Round Top, but it wasn't without a lot of loss. And so a few years after the battle, he came back to Gettysburg, and he said the whole town felt different. And when he went to Little Round Top, he said he could literally feel his men were still there with him. And he wrote, in great deeds something abides, on great fields something stays. Forms change and pass, and bodies disappear, but spirits linger to consecrate ground for the vision place of souls. And reverent men and women from afar, and generations who know us not, and we know not of, heart drawn to see where and by whom great things were suffered and done for them, shall come to this deathless field. And I see it every year. People will bring babies, all the way up to 100-year-old people or more will come here from all over the world. I've met people from Spain, Sweden, Japan. I mean, places that you're like, why are they even here? They just want to see what happened here. So I hope that you guys all had a wonderful time. I hope that you all you have a great visit here in Gettysburg and safe. And I hope that you guys are enjoying yourself. If you guys have any questions for me, see me after. If you want to take pictures, go ahead. And if you want my card, see me, I'll get it for you. If not, I will collect the equipment as you go. I will put it. Oh, that's your Rem Pod going off.
That was me closing it
Oh,
up.
okay, I thought it was like, I was like, is that your Rem Pod going off?
I wish.
I don't doing anything.
Be exciting.
Let me pick this up there so nobody trips over or steps on it. All right. So you guys are free to go. I'll let you guys leave now. But if
All right,
you
take
guys
the
want my
pictures.
card, let me get it out. You want me to give it?
Suicide Bridge, here we come.
Thank you. You guys have a great night. Thank you very much. You have a great night.
Mark, anybody tell you you're the
Yeah, you
man?
can just sit there.
You're the man.
Thank you. Thanks.
That's what Adele takes a picture.
Bye, guys.
That's what I
Thank you, honey.
Woo.
Bye. Have a good night. You're very welcome. Good.
End of the tour.
Good.
Heading over to Suicide Bridge. Live nighttime investigation.
You guys have a great night.